Good morning, ladies. Today we are going to talk about how to create parallel lines using GeoGebra and how to cut it with a transversal. We're going to use our file that we create today in our lesson tomorrow when we talk about different types of angles within parallel lines. So the first thing that we need to do is to open up GeoGebra. And when we open up GeoGebra, we have several screens going on that we need to clean up a little bit. So I'm actually going to X out or close out of the calculator. Then I'm going to go up to the side screen, and where you see this icon with the little graph, I'm going to click that. I'm then going to click these three lines here and close that. Then next I'm going to go over to this other side where I have this icon. I'm going to turn off the graph by clicking this button, and I'm going to turn off the grid. I need to click on that button and then go get a white screen. So now I'm all set up with a nice white screen to make my parallel lines. The next thing that I need to do is create a line itself. So I'm going to go up to the line tool, select line, select a point somewhere on the page, drag it out, and click another point. So there's my trusty line. The next thing that I'm going to do is to create a point. So I get my point tool and select a point somewhere above the line that you constructed. Now we're going to need to construct a parallel line through this point, and we can easily do that using this tool. So we're going to come over and click this tool, go down to parallel line. I'm going to select the line that I want to make parallel and the point I want to make it parallel to, and click on that. So now I have a set of parallel lines. The next thing that I will do is to cut the two parallel lines with what we call a transversal. And a transversal is simply just a line that intersects two parallel lines. So to do that, I'm going to go back and get my line tool. Click somewhere between the 2 points on the line that you've already constructed, and then have it intersect that point on the second line that you've already created. So that is what we call a transversal, and these two are parallel lines. Now the next thing that I want to do is to name some points, to locate some points on these various lines so that we can use them in tomorrow's lesson. So I'm going to go back up to my point tool. I want to select a point on either side of where the transversal intersects. I would like to create a point on the line above the parallel lines on the transversal and below the parallel lines on the transversal. So I've got some nice line points that are all set up on my lines, and this is going to enable us to talk about these particular angles tomorrow. Now the next thing that I want to do is to label them. So if we click on each one, and I'll go ahead and get my move tool so I don't make any extra points. So I'm going to double click on those points and then hit show label. And we'll do that for each one. Okay, if you don't like where the particular label got put, you can always move the letters over, okay, wherever you need them. So they're nice and neat. Okay. The next thing that we do is we also want to label the lines that we drew. So we can simply click on that line, double click, and hit show label, and we'll notice that those lines are named just by one little letter, and that just enables us to talk about line F, line G, and then of course we're going to name the transversal down here as well, and that will be line H. They put it up here. Line H. Okay, now we're all set. We've set up our parallel lines and our transversal, and tomorrow we're going to talk about all of the angles and their names within this set of parallel lines. So we want to go ahead and save this file, and we do that by clicking this icon up here in the top right-hand corner, the three lines, and we hit save. Now when you do that, it takes you to an alternate screen and it wants you to actually sign in. We don't need that. You just simply need to close out of that and it takes you back to a screen that allows you to rename the file. And I'm going to call this parallel lines and hit save. When you do that, it will give you a screen that asks where you want to save it. Just go ahead and put it on your desktop so that it's ready and hit save. Then when you go back to your desktop, you'll see the file there, and you'll keep that file there until tomorrow's lesson. Thank you, ladies.